Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the FOX54 Weather Impact Team.
And a very good Tuesday evening to you. I'm FOX54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Dressman talking about another round of rain this evening across North Alabama, southern and middle Tennessee. We're looking live southbound on Memorial Parkway. Traffic seems to be moving smoothly, but I also think the vast majority of the rain has since moved out of the Huntsville metro area, with the exception of a couple of different sprinkles. Let's look at the radar. Now, some of us are dry this evening. We're dry across northwest Alabama, Lauderdale, Colbert, down into Franklin County, much of the I-65 corridor, also nice and dry, Morgan County, down into Coleman County, and then some of us are dry over across northeast Alabama, but some of those folks are dealing with a little bit of rain. We'll get to them in just a second. Back into Madison, we're talking about a little bit of rain. Back into Huntsville, we are still talking about a little bit of rain, but at this point, it's just a couple of light sprinkles. If you head up towards Meridianville, Hazel Green, up to the Alabama-Tennessee state line, those folks dealing with some more moderate rain, not dealing with much in the way of any sort of thunderstorm activity within this mass. At this point, it's just a little bit of rain. Maysville, back into Gurley, back into Pleasant Grove, we're also talking about a little bit of rain. 431 down into Owens Crossroads, though, does look like it is nice and dry. And then again, dealing with the heavier rain across the Alabama-Tennessee state line. Heading back into Sylvania, we're also talking about a little bit of rain. And then back into Athens, we are talking about one stronger thunderstorm. Looks like this activity is sitting just to the west of Athens, sitting just to the east of Rogersville. Here's Highway 72. We're looking at this specific cell right here, almost right over Highway 72, bringing with it some gusty winds, maybe a little bit of thunder. No lightning being picked up here on the radar, so definitely a little bit of good news there, but have seen some reports of maybe there being a little bit of extremely small hail here located within this cell. Again, we're sitting just to the west of Athens, right along Highway 72, back into Rogersville. Rogersville dry for the time being, but I just wanted to provide you with a point of reference. Then if you head up to Anderson, also talking about a little bit of rain up towards Elkmont. Folks in Elkmont this evening are dry. Definitely a little bit of good news there. Certainly don't want to forget about our friends back across northeast Alabama. Henniger talking about a pocket of heavier rain down into Fort Payne. We're talking about some lighter rain back into Rainsville. Also talking about some lighter rain. This activity is going to be with us for the next couple of hours before we do begin to dry out across the Tennessee Valley. Though I am going to hold on to a small opportunity for rain as we head into the overnight. Here's Futurecast at the lunch hour. Does look like we are going to be nice and dry across the Tennessee Valley. Also getting to enjoy a couple of breaks in the cloud cover. And for the most part, I think we are going to be dry through Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening, also enjoying some of the breaks in the cloud cover. Now, Futurecast really tries to get rid of the cloud cover Wednesday night, early into Thursday morning. If that's going to be the case, I think it's going to be somewhat short-lived. The cloud cover builds back in through the later part of Thursday morning, early into Thursday afternoon. But I also think Futurecast is overdoing it just a little bit, because Futurecast is also trying to bring in a little bit of rain to the Tennessee Valley through Thursday afternoon, and then even as we head into Thursday evening. And I don't necessarily think that this is going to be the case, at least not in the capacity at which Futurecast is trying to bring it in. Maybe a couple of isolated showers are going to be possible, but as we head into Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening, I really don't think we're going to be talking about much in the way of any sort of widespread precipitation across the Tennessee Valley. Again, a couple of isolated showers are certainly going to be possible, but nothing in the way of any sort of widespread activity. It was another cooler afternoon across the Tennessee Valley, especially when you consider the fact that we are heading into mid-May. The Huntsville International Airport only saw 73 this afternoon. Florence saw 74. Got a pair of 75s, so are both Pulaski and Fayetteville up across southern Middle Tennessee. Even our friends over in northeast Alabama saw 75 this afternoon. Fort Payne saw a high temperature of 75 degrees. Scottsboro saw a high temperature of 74. The average high temperature this time of year right around 82 or 83 degrees, but below average temperatures, rather on brand for what has been the month of May, right? Look at this. Almost the entire month has seen below average temperatures. The first and the second, 83 and 84 degrees. We saw 83 on the 8th. Those are the only 3 days where temperatures were above average. Every other day has been well below average. We've even seen 4 days this month where the high temperature was less than 70 degrees. Definitely showcasing just how cool we've been across the Tennessee Valley in the month of May. As a matter of fact, look at this. The average high temperature so far in the month of May, 74.6 degrees. So far, May 2025 is the second coldest on record, beaten by May 1976 by just a half a degree. The average high temperature in May 1976 was 74.1 degrees. Now, I don't think that this is necessarily going to stand. Why? Because I wrote the forecast and I know exactly what the temperature is going to do over the next couple of days. And look at this. We're going to kind of flip the switch in very dramatic fashion. It's like the big giant red button. I feel like we're pushing the giant red button because we're going to go from the 60s and the 70s to the mid and upper 80s over the next couple of days, making a pretty solid run at 90 degrees. So somebody here has chosen to push the big red button, and it's not me. 83 on Wednesday. Look at that, 87 degrees by the time we get to Thursday and Friday. We stick with the 80s. The 80s become a consistent feature as we head into the weekend and then through the early part of next week. And I'm going to go ahead and blame this on somebody that posted on my Facebook because they asked when we were going to get a solid stretch of days where the high temperature was consistently in the 80s. So I'm going to go ahead and blame a Facebook viewer of mine because now all of a sudden it is consistently going to be warm. Live look outside this evening over into DeKalb County. It doesn't really look like any rain's falling out in DeKalb County, but we are talking about ample cloud cover over in DeKalb County, and cloud cover, much the theme across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures beginning to cool off, especially in locations that have seen a little bit of rain. Arab and Albertville sitting at 68, Coleman sitting at 69. We're sitting at 67 in Athens, 68 right now in Huntsville. On the other end of the spectrum, though, some folks still talking about the 70s, 72 in Florence, 72 in Fayetteville. We're sitting at 71 degrees right now in Scottsboro. Through the rest of the evening, temperature sitting in the upper 60s and lower 70s. And again, it does look like the rain's going to come to an end by the time we get to the middle and later part of the evening. 68 at 8, 66 degrees by the time we get to 9 o'clock. Small opportunity for rain in the forecast as we head into the overnight. Otherwise, we are going to be on the warmer end of the spectrum tonight. We're also going to be on the more humid end of the spectrum. So while normally this weather would be great if you want to leave the windows open, I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case, just because it's going to be rather humid outside. I've got a low temperature right around 62 degrees. Kids getting on the school bus tomorrow morning, they don't have a lot of days left to get on the school bus. The school year very quickly winding down. Went fast. 65 at 7, 68 by 8, 71 degrees at 9 o'clock, 73 at 10 a.m. Again, temperatures warming up more tomorrow, and we can kind of see that in the morning. We're warming very quickly. 65 at 7, 71 by 9, 73 degrees, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures climb into the lower 80s tomorrow afternoon. An isolated shower certainly can't be ruled out, but it does look like the vast majority of us are going to be dry, like I just showed you on Futurecast, and we also get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. I still hold on to the opportunity for a little bit of rain, though, just simply based on the amount of moisture that is going to be available. Always follow me on Facebook, Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Again, I tell you every day that one day I'm going to change the little picture of the bird to a little picture of an X, and I just haven't done it yet. It's not a high priority, but eventually I'll get it done. And then, of course, you can follow me on Instagram. At this point, Instagram is just a lot of my friends, a lot of my dog. That's what you do when you get a dog. You post about your dog on the Instagram. Though I do post about my dog on my Facebook, so you can follow that as well. Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. I'm much more active on Facebook even than I am on Instagram. I'm not a very good Instagrammer. I firmly believe that 99% of the pictures I take are probably not Instagram worthy, and I just don't think that anybody wants to look at them. The question of the day, and this is a good one. This is a good question of the day. This one's weather related, and I really like this one. Now, if you were around yesterday, we talked about the Cleveland Browns and why they chose two quarterbacks and how one of those especially was not a great decision because history is repeating itself and all that jazz. And I took some time to hate on the owners of the Cleveland Browns, as every Cleveland Browns fan is always happy to do. This one is a little more serious in nature, definitely weather related. When were thunder showers removed from weather terminology? And then they added an extra little comment. Guess it went the way of cattleman advisory and traveler's advisory. Thunder showers, it was never really done away with. We just kind of stopped using the term. Why? Honestly, it didn't really seem distinct enough to use the term thunder showers. It didn't really seem to have a super clear definition because in theory, anything that involves thunder and lightning is referred to as a thunderstorm, and we do occasionally get thunder during snow. So this just kind of seemed too vague. Guess it went the way of cattleman's advisory and traveler's advisory. Well, honestly, with the two of those, the technology just got a little bit better. And that's really why a lot of those terms went away. For the new folks, and I am one of the new folks, okay, I am happy to admit when I was presented this question, I actually had to look up what a cattleman's advisory was. And a cattleman's advisory was issued, and maybe you're going to learn something here. And maybe you can use this to win a game of Trivial Pursuit or answer trivia at your local favorite trivia hotspot. But a cattleman's advisory was issued when the weather was adverse specifically to newborn cattle. I didn't know that, and maybe you didn't either. And now you do. And then there's a traveler's advisory. Now that one's a little more obvious. It was issued when travel was expected to be a little extra hazardous. If you'd like to send a question for me to answer, they can be weather related or not weather related, you can text me. Number's right there on your screen, 256-382-2692. I believe up next is the 7-day forecast. There it is. Next 7 days, 83 on Wednesday, 87 Thursday and Friday, 85 on Saturday, 83 on Sunday. Like I said, sticking with the 80s as we head into the weekend, but there's also a fairly healthy opportunity for rain as we head into the weekend. A few thunderstorms are going to be possible this weekend, so not going to be a great weekend if you plan to go to the pool because, well, it's going to rain. We have not had a good pool weekend yet in the month of May. 85 on Monday, 87 degrees. By the time we get to next Tuesday, I will see you all tonight. Fox 54 News at 9 o'clock.